On this episode of Cox Connections, in an effort to reduce cost and environmental pollution, Roanoke County Public Schools began a pilot program using 10 propane buses. They also have installed a propane fueling station at Glenver High School. If this program is successful, the school board may consider expanding their propane bus fleet as diesel buses are replaced. We'll hear from the school's Director of Operations. And later, Roanoke Valley Television collaborated with the Heroin Task Force to produce 5 PSAs, which help bring awareness to the increasing dangers of heroin addiction and overdose in our area. The producer of the PSAs, along with the Heroin Task Force Committee Chair, will join us. But coming up first, by making meaningful monitored matches between adult volunteers and children, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Virginia helps to improve the odds that those same children will perform better in school and avoid violence and illegal activities, in addition to having stronger relationships with their parents and others. I'll talk with the President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Virginia. Stay tuned, Cox Connections is next.
The economic impact of sports in our region is just incredible, just like the tourism industry.
It's really another way to help people with their personal finances. How do you save that money? How do you grow that money?
It started with a lot of community input, and that's something that we're very, very proud of.
What we've noticed is children who enter kindergarten ready to learn do much better down the road.
Grand & Co Lab is a hub for idea generation, what we like to call ideation.
Welcome to Cox Connections, a link between you, our customers, and what's happening in the community we share. I'm Jeff Merritt, Market Vice President for Cox Roanoke. For more than 60 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Virginia has operated under the belief that within every child is the ability to succeed and thrive in life. As the nation's largest donor and volunteer-supported mentoring network, Big Brothers Big Sisters aims to provide children who face adversity with strong and enduring, professionally supported, one-on-one relationships that can change their lives for the better forever. President and CEO June House joins me now to talk about the impact Big Brothers and Big Sisters is making in Southwest Virginia. Thanks for coming in, June.
Thank you, Jeff.
So let's start with a little bit of history. 60 years here. So tell me a little bit about the organization. It's been around for 60 years. Give us just some background.
Well, we started out as Big Brothers, and it was founded by Bern Carter and 3 other gentlemen in the community. So just believe strongly that a child who maybe didn't have that role model mentor in their life could really benefit from it. So those 4 gentlemen really started this program and just believed strongly in it. And then later they let the Big Sisters come in, and it became Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Gotcha. And so I was looking at some stats. In 2014, you served 477 children here in the Southwest Virginia area.
That's correct. We have incredible volunteer base here in our communities, and so it's been exciting. I mean, those are 477 children with 477 volunteers, so it's a big undertaking, but we have professional staff. They are trained in child safety, they're trained in child development, and they just make it happen by supporting those relationships.
And the relationships, that's what it's all about, obviously. And so tell us a little bit about the mentoring. I mean, what do the bigs and the littles do? I mean, give us a little bit of that experience.
Yeah, I mean, we are not there to replace the parents or the guardians. We're there to be a resource. So when we think of how do we have an impact in the community, we really are wanting the volunteers to develop a relationship. Recently, I attended a roundtable where they talked to students in Roanoke City. Governor McAuliffe did about SOL testing. And the one thing that kept repeating with these students was that they really wanted relationships. So that really has not changed in the last 60 years, and definitely not in the last 100+ years that Big Brothers and Big Sisters has been around, the national organization. So they do all kinds of different things. The activities can be baking cookies, raking leaves, to washing the car, to playing a board game, or just out talking and walking and hiking. And so the activities are just all over the place, and so that's really what it's about, is really developing that relationship.
Now, all of those items you just mentioned, they sound pretty fundamental, things that anybody can do. How would you say the mentoring has the mentoring changed over the last 60 years?
I think the basics of the mentoring has not changed, in that relationships are just as important today as they were 60 years ago. But I think the one thing that we have seen is families have changed. And so we've sort of adapted to families. When I started with Big Brothers and Big Sisters in 1993, you know, we talked about divorce rate and it was 28%, but now we don't even mention divorce rate. Families have changed and they look very different.
Right.
But mentoring itself, the need for someone to care about you and to give you opportunities and show you a different kind of way of living or opportunities has not changed.
Yeah, and so you know, it's clearly having an impact. I'll share a few stats that we've noted that you've shared with us. 98% of children in the program have reported avoiding juvenile justice system. 86% have a negative attitude towards risky behavior, and 87% have high educational expectations of themselves. Those are some amazing numbers.
Yeah, we really want our children to see themselves as prospering, that they are part of this really great society where they have opportunities abound and they can do anything with their lives. And we also want them to know that they have a support system for education, that they should see themselves as, you know, as taking advantage of our public school system and doing their very best. And we hope the bigs are just, you know, helping us with that, by asking them about their report cards when grades come out. How did you do? Or about attendance, because if you're not in school, you're not learning.
Right.
And so these are the things that we want our bigs to be sharing with the littles.
Gotcha. And obviously a number of volunteers that are involved, but you also have a staff there. It requires some funding, obviously, to maintain the organization. So tell us a little bit about that. How is Big Brothers Big Sisters funded? Well,
Big Brothers and Big Sisters America requires that everybody who works with the children in the program and is part of the service delivery model has to have a bachelor's degree in social service, human service field. And so we have professional staff. Staff is constantly having training in the areas of child safety and addressing trending issues with children. And so we have 8 paid staff, and we have 2 Vista AmeriCorps volunteers working with us this year. So it's an awful lot of people to keep track of, and so with our staff, they do an excellent job. It's not unusual for them to carry a caseload of 75 matches. That's talking to the guardian, the parent, or the child and the volunteer every single month. So.
And I can't let you go without talking about your rappelling event. I mean, I've heard this, you're trying to talk me into doing that, but I've heard great things about it. So just give us a brief overview of what that's all about.
Yeah, I mean, we started this crazy, our marketing coordinator, Jessica Turley, brought over the edge to our community, and it is crazy, it's insane, but you know, it's really about what would you risk to help a child in this community. So it's a rappelling event. You raise money, you rappel off the Patrick Henry, and it's a lot of fun, and you should definitely do it.
Well, thank you so much. I think the contributions that you're making to the Roanoke Valley and Southwest Virginia are amazing. The statistics that you're able to share, and the 477 kids in 2014 that you impacted, and I know you're continuing to grow your program and the number of mentors. Just amazing work. So thank you so much, June, and for everything that you all are doing. To learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Virginia, you can visit bigslittles.org. Stay with us, more Cox Connections after the break.